People often feel so ashamed because they'll try the low-carb diet and then they'll get the low-carb flu. And I don't know if you've heard of this,
No.
but I know people who have gone through it. And it's where they've tried to go low-carb too fast, and their bodies were not able to make the transition between burning sugar to burning fat. And so it has not caught up. And so they are low energy, they don't feel well, they may have headaches, they feel fluish. And so some of these people will do their best to try to tough it out, but if it goes like on more than a few days, it gets to be too much for them, and a lot of us are working, so understandable, right? And then they'll go back to their higher carb and they feel better. And then they'll try again. They'll make another run at it and eventually feel like failures. And so I just want to say that low carb should be attempted in a very gradual manner, and I think that's why I'm a little more attracted to the paleo diet, because it does allow some carbs. And a lot of times I'll tell people, okay, if you're going to take bread, let's say, because a paleo is a non-bread, non-dairy diet, a great elimination diet for people who have sensitivities or who don't know if they have sensitivities yet or not. The two main allergens are now out, and so they can see. But if they really can't stay away from their bread, Weston A. Price has done a wonderful job of showing us that sprouted grain breads, such as Ezekiel bread, is one of my favorites because it's one that we have on the West Coast. I don't know if it's widely available. Ezekiel, yeah, bread. It's a sprouted grain bread, and what that's done is it's lowered the carbs in the grains, and also it's dealt with the phytates, which can actually rob your meal of minerals, which is inherently an unsprouted grain, and given that grain a more nutritious characteristic. And so people can eat some of that and it won't cause the blood sugar spikes. Another type of bread that is treated in a very ancient way is sourdough. And a lot of people love sourdough. So a genuine sourdough bread is a good substitution for your regular bread.
But just not every day, or?
Oh, I would say when you're starting out low carb, let's have a little bread every day. I really don't want people to undergo the headaches and everything. And so I tell people to try to keep as much carb in as they need to be able to avoid that, but think every day about taking off maybe a half a slice of that bread. But just eating a lean steak is not a good thing. So if you're going to have a lean steak, put butter on it. If you don't tolerate butter, make ghee or clarified butter. Get those butter solids out of there, but at least have the butter oil. That's the same oil that we had actually when we had a little bit of seafood, and you could like dip it in that clear butter.
Oh yes.
Yes, that clarified butter is great for just anyone who's either intolerant of lactose or intolerant of casein. They can have that butter. And use that butter liberally. Make sure it's coming from pastured animals.